Okay, hi. How you guys doing? This is A of the Dawn. I don't never make videos in my car, but since I'm in rush hour traffic, I decided to do this video for you. Chiron. Somebody told me I was saying it wrong. One of my other girlfriends said Chiron, but then she was like, you can say Chiron, tomato, and I was like, okay, Chiron. But somebody told me it was Chiron, and if it was up to me, it would be Chiron, okay? Because that just feels better. I don't like Chiron. It's like Quran. Chiron. No, Anywho, how are you guys doing today? I am going through it myself. I am experiencing feeling like so lonely, lonely. And anytime I feel feelings like that, I know it's my inner child, because the adult me loves my space, loves my time alone, loves, like, I'm not a lonely person like that, you know. My inner child is like, mama, 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 mama. And I feel like I'm missing, like, some type of nostalgia or something. And it feels like what makes it even worse is it seems like nothing can really fill me up right now. Nothing I do is going to fill that space. So my new cards came in. I'm sorry this is such a long introduction, and I pulled some cards, and I pulled the candle. This is the Wild Medicine Herbal deck, and I got these cards so that when I do ritual for like new moon and full moon, it can give me some little extra insight, guidance. And I pulled the calendula. Man, this light is not the business. It's behind me. The sun's going down behind me. I wonder if I do this, that works more. A little bit. Okay. Yeah. And so I was at the Herbal esoteric store, and I got some marigold, some calendula. Nice, right? And I want to show you the card. I can't, because they're really pretty cards. And I got them from Ritual Austin, but I'm sure you can find these on Amazon and eBay. There it is. Isn't that gorgeous? And on the back, it gives you like the history, herbal lore, how it was used in ritual, how to use it for health reasons, and it cleans the liver. I probably need that. I usually do a cleanse at the top of the year. I haven't done that, and I really feel like maybe I need to. And I also just been looking at like getting into more in the herbs, and even smoking them to see if I can connect with spirit more, see what they can do for me. But anyway, Chiron in the 5th house. As soon as I started thinking about it, it really hits me kind of hard. Like, it's like a harsh placement. Chiron, Leo, 5th house, the sun can be so prosperous, so lucky, so energetic and vibrant. The sun is an oracle. Like Leo people are really wise when it comes to when to say something and when to not. Most of the time they say nothing and they just let everybody else look stupid. I just noticed that about Leo, you know. And what I'm learning about Chiron as I contemplate on it more, and I've done some readings, is that It seems like it's a wound that happens on accident. When I look at the mythology, you know, the wound happened on accident just by being around. You know, it was like an event that was unsuspected. You weren't looking for it, but it happened. And now you have to deal with it. You know, now you have to work on healing this gangrene. Now, and I look at family systems, and just being around certain people is toxic. In some situations that you may have ended up in, you trusted. You know, you were caught off guard, and there was no way for you to, like, think it through first. It's kind of like, is this happening? You didn't even have a chance to even be like, is this what this is? Is this really happening to me? It's like an ongoing the word that came into my mind was gangrene. It's like a gangrene, a little bit to the left, and it's just right.
Partly cloudy skies tonight, 58, 30% chance for some scattered showers.
It's like a gangrene that needs to be cut out. And and how Chiron affects Leo in the 5th house, I would suspect that there's possible sexual abuse, power, control issues, maybe even barrenness, because it has to do with children. You know, I can see a husband and a wife using the children as a pawn, maybe not knowing the father because of issues with just fights. And I can also see violence in the family as well. You know, just like a complete breakdown and immature use of willpower. You know, I can't have my way. I'm going to throw a tantrum. You just need to just do what I say or else. And having that energy enforced on you at a young age is obvious. You know, it will create a very meek, mild-tempered, angry, rageful person that probably doesn't do the same things to other people, but holds it all in and takes it out on themselves. And if you do take it out on other people, it tortures you. You know? For some reason, by the time Chiron hit your generation, it was obvious to you, more obvious to you than it was to your parents what was going on. I feel like as we heal and get more and more back to ancient times, which seems new now, like the healing and stuff that's going on seems new, like new technology, but it's ancient, it's old as hell. We're just slow. We've just been slow. And now, you know, you can see a little bit clearer than your parents did. And that's no mistake, because by the time your children get to the age you are, they're going to be like 7 generations ahead of you. Each generation gets a little bit better. But I can understand the rage, the hatred, and the anger of someone putting their rage and hatred and anger onto you and enforcing their will upon, because the sun is about the will and freedom and joy. And so when you were a kid, you either saw your parents or guardians not really experience that much joy, and they took it out on other people, namely you, or they actually like physically beat you. And since the 5th house is about sex, there could be, like I said before, some type of rape, violence in your life. either that your mother experienced or father experienced or you experienced. And another thing I noticed about family wounds, you know how they can be, there could be an issue. Like my grandfather was an alcoholic, but my mom didn't drink. But it seemed like she carried the characteristics of someone who is an alcoholic, and I find myself like living like that sometimes too. Just kind of like, how can I? It's like this isolation, this self-hatred, and this heavy responsibility. And I don't have kids, I don't have a husband, but when I was growing up, a lot was put on me, and I still find myself like having those same expectations of myself. Like when I moved out the house, I used to buy, when I went grocery shopping, I would buy like the family pack of everything. It's like I was used to living in a large family. I had to get used to being single, you know. And I feel like that's the same way wounds get passed down. Any wounds get passed down. Like in your family, there may not have been physical violence in your immediate family, but maybe in like a generation or two before you, there was. And people still live as though they're still going through a war zone. You know, that's a possibility too. And now you're like, what is wrong with us? We had a Cosby family. We had this, we had that. Why is there so much pain, suffering, arguing, and bickering, and fighting, and people feeling abandoned? You may not be able to feel like you can have your independence, because the sun is about independence, and live your own life without people like feeling like you're abandoning them. Abandonment might be a big issue in your life. You feeling abandoned, or other people feeling abandoned by you, and vice versa. You know, although I have Chiron in the 9th house in Taurus, and Taurus can be possessive too. I don't know. I just feel like I can relate a lot to this, and I haven't looked. The funny thing is, as much as I talk about my mom and I know about astrology, I don't think I've ever seen her birth chart, which is weird. And sometimes I really want to see it, you know, just to get some insight. But yeah. So how do you work on healing all that? Girl and man, it's a process. Because I just want to be like, girl, it's a process. It's definitely a process. And like I tell anyone that, and anyone I'm in a healing situation with, or a client, or someone I'm doing a reading with, you start from where you're at. Whatever comes up first, that's where you start. If your rage is up right now, you deal with your rage. You know, how do you deal with rage? Sometimes rage wants to cry. The best way to deal with anything that comes up is ask it how it wants, what it needs, how it wants to express itself. Anything that's stuck inside of you, that's been there for a long time, basically has its own way of being that hasn't been honored, and you've probably never heard it before, you know. And so there's those parts of you want to be shown respect. And how do you respect something? You ask permission. Can we talk? Are you ready to talk about this? Because sometimes you can be so rageful and so mad that there's part of you that's coming up, but it might have his arms folded, like the age. And the first thing I usually do when I'm like journaling is ask, how old are you? You know, when a certain part comes up, and then you'll see how old that part of you is, and then you can proceed from there. And then you can say, how are you feeling? How are you doing right now? You go in slow. You don't go in for the kill. Like, I feel like a lot of times we want to be healed today, last week, 50 years ago. You know, so we might put a lot of pressure on ourselves to be healed tomorrow, but it's a process. And the more compassion you learn for yourself, and the more patient you are, the faster the process is. And also know that, you know, you can start off, sometimes I ask my clients, how intense is this to you? On a scale from 1 to 10, however strong, whatever intense emotions they're feeling, high charge they're feeling. And if you go from like a 10 to like an 8, you made some progress. You have to look at it like that instead of, you know, trying to get it down to a 0 in one session. You can end up getting obsessed with trying to dissolve the energy. And also with dissolving, embrace a part of you that goes along with that part that you hate. So if you're feeling rage, then your boundaries were broken, right? And how were you before your boundaries were broken? Present, joyful, you know, innocent. So maybe as you dissolve your rage, anger, hatred, embrace your innocence again. Embrace your satisfaction with life. Embrace being present. Embrace living. Embrace your will. Yes. Okay. Wow. I've been driving for a bit. This is traffic. It's traffic in Atlanta. Okay. I think that's all I have to say. And I'm just going to keep on rolling to the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th house. And then I'm going to do the twin flame readings. Because again, I see a pattern in our evolution right now. A lot of the issues that we have in our relationships and in our soul tribes, I see a lot of people have the same Chiron. A lot of people have a lot of people who are twin flames have the same Chiron, right? Chiron. Thanks, Kathy. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.